Problem number 2. Ruthie painted the 4 walls of her rectangular bedroom, each with a different color. The south wall is white. Of the remaining 3 walls, one is purple, one is orange, and one is green. Exactly one of the following statements is true. The west wall is purple, the north wall is not orange, or the east wall is not purple. What is the color of the north wall? Alright, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each case, assuming that, we know that exactly one of these statements is true, so we can assume that A is true and that B and C are false and look at what we end up with, okay? And then go through the case where B is true and the other 2 are false, and then finally C is true and the other 2 are false. So let's just look at the cases. And so first of all, we'll just assume that A is true, okay? And if that's the case, then, okay, A is true, so we're just going to copy that one directly. So the west wall is purple. And the north wall, now we've assumed A is true, so this has to be not true. So we take the negation of this. So if the north wall is, the negation of the north wall not being orange is that the north wall is orange, okay? Okay, so if A is the one that's true, then the north wall has to be orange. And then C also has to be not true, so we take the negation of that, and we get that the east wall is purple. You can right away see a problem there. We're told that each of the 3 walls, the remaining walls, is a different color, okay? So we can't have 2 purple walls. We don't have a green wall in this case, so this case cannot be true. All right. So let's go on and let's assume that B is true. All right. So what does that mean? That means A and C are not true. So let's take the negation of the west wall is purple, which would be the west wall is not purple. And the negation of C, the east wall is not purple, is that the east wall is purple. And then we're assuming B is true, so we'll just write that directly, and we'll say that the north wall is not orange. Alright. Alright, so now we know the east wall is purple. And we know that what? The north wall is not orange, but it can't be purple either because we can't have 2 purple walls. So then we find out that the north wall is green. And the west wall then would have to be orange. Okay? And that all works out. And that so that's the case when B is true. So let's look at the last case too. Now we could probably stop right here and say that the north wall is green, but let's just make sure that there aren't 2 possibilities. So let's assume that C is true. And if C is true, we can write that one directly, right? So that means that the east wall is not purple. Okay? And then we need to take the negation of the other 2. So that means that the west wall is not purple, and the north wall is orange. Alright. So let's find a contradiction in that. See if there's a contradiction. Okay, so if the north wall is orange and the west wall is not purple, then the west wall also can't be orange because that's taken, so this would have to be green. And by the same logic, the east wall cannot be purple, but it can't be orange either, so it would also have to be green. So we have a problem there. So we have a contradiction there. So the only one that can be true is this one, where B is true. And if that's the case, when we work out the logic, then the north wall has to be green. Okay? So, that's the answer. The north wall is green.